Hello, Namaste, Vanakkam, Sat Sri Akal. This time my topic is how to come up with a great startup idea. So why did I pick this topic? The reason is, a few years ago I ran a poll, a survey, where I asked people, why are you not doing a startup? And there were three top reasons. One was family pressure and peer pressure. My family and friends don't think I should do a startup. Reason number two was I don't have the money. And the third reason, equally important, was I don't have a startup idea, so I don't know how to start. So that's the point I'm going to pick up today and talk about how to come up with a great startup idea so that you're no longer holding back and you actually go ahead and do your startup. I'm going to talk about three methods for coming up with a great startup idea. My method number one is called follow your passion. Let me start with the story of an entrepreneur I know, Sujit Panigrahi. Sujit is from the eastern part of the country, Orissa. Now, when he was growing up in Orissa, like most children when they go to school, he was fond of sports and less fond of studies. But unfortunately, like most parents, his parents put pressure on him and forced him to pursue studies rather than sports, although if Sujit had been given a choice, he'd have become a sportsman. So he studied, became an engineer, took up a software job after that, and for many years he was in the software business. But one day, when he reached his middle age, he said, enough is enough. Sports is the passion that's close to my heart. I want to do something in the field of sports. So he decided to set up a startup called Fitness 365. The whole idea of his venture was to go to schools and tell them that, look, you don't have good facilities, good coaches, good equipment. Hand over the whole sports or physical training department to me. I will come with my equipment, my coaches, my curriculum and my methodology and actually run your PT or sports function. So when I met him a few years ago, he'd already been doing this for over 100 schools. And he was employing a large number of people, providing great sports facilities and coaching to children across many schools. So you can see how he combined his passion for sports with his passion for entrepreneurship, and the two came together, his passion for sports and his passion to be an entrepreneur. There's a similar story of a young person I met recently. His name is Sachin Kumar. He's from Madhubani district of Bihar. Now, those of you who are familiar with Bihari food would know that there is something called a sattu, which is consumed in many different ways in Bihar. You have it as paratha, you have it with lassi, you mix it with various other things. It's one of those real superfoods. Now, Sachin said, look, I believe in the power of sattu, but why should it be limited to only people who live in Bihar? So he decided to actually make a packaged food or a packaged drink based on sattu. Imagine it's a packaged drink. You could be anywhere in India or anywhere in the world. You mix it with water and you can have it when you please. And suddenly a local food of Bihar becomes available to the whole world. And therefore Sachin here combined his passion for food and local Bihari food with a passion to become an entrepreneur. All of us have some passion or the other. We could be passionate about education, agriculture, environment, or anything else that's close to our heart. Imagine if you bring passion and your commitment to become a startup together. It's such a powerful combination. So passion plus startup means deep commitment, which is why my method number one is follow your passion and you could come up with a great startup idea. My method number two is solve a real burning problem. Like always, I'll start with some stories. My first story is of a young entrepreneur called Deep Bajaj. Now, as all of us know, public toilets in India are fairly dirty. And this is a bigger problem for women because men can manage somehow. So Deep Bajaj saw this in his family when he would go on drives with his mother, with his wife, with sister, and he saw that they could not use public toilets. So he saw this as a big problem to solve and he decided to solve it. What did he do? He created a simple but innovative product called P-Buddy. Now, P-Buddy is a simple device made of cardboard or hard paper, using which women can just stand and pee. Therefore, they don't have to sit in a dirty toilet. It's such a simple innovation, but it solved a really big problem, a burning problem. The second example I'd like to take is that of Ankit Agarwal. Now, Ankit Agarwal is from Kanpur. During one of his visits to Kanpur while he was working somewhere else as a software engineer, when he came home to Kanpur, he was seeing how all the waste flowers from temples in Kanpur, huge quantities of those flowers were being dumped into the river Ganga. And suddenly, a stray comment that a friend of his made inspired Ankit to solve the problem of waste flowers being dumped in the river. Ankit decided to make beautiful, well-packaged agarbattis out of these waste flowers. And today, he's got a branded product, a full range in fact, called Phool, P-H-O-O-L. And Phool has attracted many admirers across India and the world. In fact, famous film star Alia Bhatt was so happy with the product that she actually decided to make an investment in the business. So once again, Ankit is an example of a person who saw a real problem around him and he said, let me solve it. And that became his startup idea. So now look back. When living in India, we're surrounded by problems. These are problems that we may have personally experienced, like Deep Bajaj did, or they could be problems all around us. It could be the problem of roads that are not well maintained. It could be the problem of global warming. It could be the problem of pollution. It could be the problem of cyber security because someone you know whose account has been hacked. Now there are so many problems waiting to be solved. Each of these problems could lead to a startup idea. The only question you need to ask is this a real problem? Is it a burning problem? Is it a big problem? If the answer is yes, 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 then you should come up with an idea or innovation that can be a real painkiller to solve this pain or get rid of this pain. And that painkiller that you come up with, that innovative painkiller, will be your killer startup idea. So method number 2 is find a real problem to solve, and that is your startup idea. So my method number 3 is called tap into your personal core expertise. Let's start with the example of two young founders I know, Mansoor and Siddharth. They run a startup called Beethoven.ai. Mansoor comes from 7 generations of a music family and he himself is specialized engineer in music technology. Siddharth, his co-founder, is also an engineer with music technology background. The two of them decided to use their expertise to create Beethoven.ai. What does Beethoven.ai do? It generates original music using artificial intelligence. So who uses this product? If you look at the world around us today, we have millions of YouTubers and podcasters who create videos every day by the thousands or tens of thousands. They all need to add music to their videos, but unfortunately, most of the music that they put on their videos is often licensed music that someone else owns, and therefore when they put this music on the video, YouTube pulls off the video. So they need original licensed music, and that's what Mansoor and Siddharth do through Beethoven.ai. So if you're a video producer, all you do is to go to their site, specify the length of the music track that you need, kind of instrument you want, the kind of tempo you want, and you get several options of music tracks to choose from. And what is the biggest thing here is this is rightfully licensed to you so that you don't run into a legal issue. So Beethoven.ai is getting great feedback from the market. So this is an example of founders who are using their personal expertise to create a great software product. We are fortunate that in India, there are so many qualified people with many kinds of expertise or specialization. Artificial intelligence, cyber security, nanoelectronics, semiconductor, biotechnology, medical devices. All of them are coming forward now to patent their ideas. Very often, these ideas come out of their PhD work and they build a business around it. I'm even seeing doctors do this. So look at how you can build a business or a product around your personal expertise by tapping into that talent. This holds true for people who work for many years in the corporate sector also. You might have built a wonderful experience over the last 15-20 years in areas like supply chain or in distribution or in creating an FMCG brand or building a medical device. Use that expertise now to build a startup idea, and that's my method number 3. Tap into your core personal expertise. So for those of you you who've been wondering how to come up with a good startup idea, those were the 3 methods. Method number 1, follow your passion. Method number 2, solve a real burning problem that you see in the world around you or something that you've experienced. And method number 3 is tap into your core personal expertise. Using one of these methods, come up with a good startup idea. If possible and if necessary, go out and patent that idea so that others don't steal it. And finally, don't just sit on the idea, go out and test the idea with actual customers, get feedback from them to see whether you indeed have a great startup idea or not. Very often people make the mistake of not talking to customers but to just build a product, and very often they fail because customer feedback is missing. So if you have an idea, go and test it. Don't sit in an ivory tower. After all, the customer is the boss who will tell you whether or not your idea is a good idea or not. All the best as you set out to create your ideas and build your business. Wishing you the very best.